Subutai was one of the most renowned and successful military commanders in history, best known for his role in the Mongol Empire's military conquests under Genghis Khan and his successors. He was born in 1176 in the steppes of Mongolia to a humble family, though little is known about his early life. Subutai's rise to prominence began when he joined the Mongol army at a young age. He quickly became known for his sharp intellect, strategic genius, and daring tactics on the battlefield. As a key member of Genghis Khan's inner circle, Subutai played a pivotal role in many of the empire's most notable campaigns, including the conquest of Central Asia, the invasion of Europe, and the campaigns in the Khwarezmian Empire. His mastery of military strategy and logistics enabled him to lead long-distance raids and battles with incredible precision, earning him the trust of Genghis Khan and later his successors, such as Ogedai Khan. Subutai's military genius was displayed in his innovative tactics, including the use of feigned retreats, extensive use of cavalry, and a highly mobile and flexible military structure. His ability to plan and execute campaigns over vast distances was unparalleled. One of his most famous campaigns was the 1220s invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire, which saw Subutai lead Mongol forces across the Iranian plateau and into the heart of the enemy's territory. The conquest devastated the Khwarezmian Empire, solidifying Mongol dominance in the region. Subutai was also instrumental in the Mongol invasions of Europe. In 1236, under the leadership of Bada Khan, Subutai led the Mongol forces into the Kievan Rus, which ultimately led to the destruction of major cities like Kiev. His expertise allowed him to conduct swift and efficient raids through Eastern Europe, reaching as far west as Hungary and Poland. The Battle of Mohi in 1241, where Subutai decisively defeated the Hungarian army, remains one of his most significant victories. His ability to coordinate large armies across vast distances and maintain supply lines was a critical factor in the success of these campaigns. Throughout his career, Subutai's strategic foresight and adaptability to changing circumstances were key to his successes. He was able to outmaneuver opponents and turn seemingly impossible situations into victories. His reputation as a brilliant tactician was so legendary that even his enemies respected his ability to command armies and orchestrate complex battle plans. Subutai's impact on the Mongol Empire cannot be overstated. He was a master of psychological warfare, using deceptive tactics to confuse and intimidate his enemies. His campaigns often involved breaking enemy morale and exploiting weaknesses in their defenses. Despite the success and dominance of the Mongol military, Subutai was not just a tactician. He was a symbol of Mongol determination and resilience. Later in life, Subutai continued to serve the Mongol Empire under the leadership of Genghis Khan's heirs. His campaigns were not only about expanding the empire, but also about securing Mongol power and maintaining the empire's dominance over vast territories. Though Subutai was eventually overshadowed by other prominent figures within the empire, his legacy as one of the greatest military strategists in history endures. Subutai died in 1248, after having secured his place in history as one of the most influential figures in military history. His strategic innovations and battlefield victories ensured the expansion and strength of the Mongol Empire, leaving a lasting mark on the military world and cementing his status as one of the most skilled generals of all time. Subutai's death did not diminish the impact of his military strategies, which continued to be studied and admired long after his time. His tactics, such as the use of rapid cavalry maneuvers, the deployment of false retreats to lure enemies into ambushes, and the strategic use of psychological warfare, became essential elements of military doctrine for generations to come. Many historians and military theorists consider him one of the pioneers of modern military strategy, influencing commanders even in later periods, including during the Napoleonic Wars and beyond. His campaigns were not merely about direct conquest. Subutai understood the importance of maintaining control over the regions he invaded. His approach was not one of brutal occupation, but rather one of ensuring the stability and integration of conquered peoples into the Mongol Empire. He often sought to incorporate local leaders into the Mongol administrative system, allowing them to retain a degree of autonomy as long as they paid tribute and acknowledged Mongol supremacy. This helped maintain a large, diverse empire, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe for many years. In the years following his death, Subutai's name continued to carry great respect within the Mongol world. His victories were often cited by later Mongol commanders as examples of how to conduct successful campaigns. His reputation as a commander who could think several moves ahead, as well as his ability to adapt to changing battlefield conditions, set him apart from many other military leaders of his era. He had an uncanny ability to assess situations rapidly and choose the most effective course of action, whether that involved direct confrontation or outwitting his opponents. One of the most remarkable aspects of Subutai's legacy is the enduring mystery surrounding his personality and character. Despite his immense success, relatively little is known about him personally. He was not a flamboyant or attention-seeking figure, which contrasts with many other famous military leaders of the time. He preferred to let his victories and the results of his campaign speak for him rather than drawing attention to himself through public displays or speeches. This quiet yet powerful demeanor earned him the respect not only of his troops, but also of his allies and enemies alike. Subutai's influence extended beyond his military achievements. He was a crucial figure in the Mongol worldview, helping to solidify the idea of the Mongols as unstoppable, almost mythological conquerors. He became an integral part of the legend of the Mongol Empire, which was built on the notion of unifying the steppes and beyond through warfare, intelligence, and innovation. Subutai's campaigns, characterized by their speed, precision, and calculated ferocity, exemplified the Mongol military ethos, leaving a legacy that would last well beyond the empire's peak. In the centuries following his death, Subutai's name became synonymous with military brilliance. As military history has evolved, his strategies have continued to be referenced and applied in various forms. Some modern military experts view him as one of the most versatile commanders in history, capable of adapting his tactics to both offensive and defensive situations. His campaigns were not defined by sheer force, but by a clear understanding of terrain, logistics, and psychology of warfare. His success in rapidly mobilizing his forces and making quick, decisive strikes stands as a testament to his extraordinary leadership and innovative thinking. Subutai's legacy lives on not just in the annals of Mongol history, but also in the broader world of military strategy. His ability to think beyond conventional tactics, use of deception and feints, and his incredible mobility are studied in military academies around the world to this day. His profound influence on the art of warfare continues to inspire military lead. In the broader context of military history, Subutai's strategic innovations are still relevant today. His emphasis on mobility, the integration of diverse military forces, the importance of intelligence, and his use of psychological warfare paved the way for future military developments. Whether it is the use of cavalry, surprise maneuvers, or the ability to sustain extended campaigns, his tactics remain an enduring part of the military canon, studied by both historians and professionals in modern armed forces. Furthermore, Subutai's ability to adapt to different environments and confront diverse challenges made him a master of operational flexibility. His tactics often combined conventional battlefield strategies with unorthodox approaches that baffled enemies and made him a formidable adversary. Whether through the freezing steppes of Russia or the battlefields of Hungary, Subutai's forces moved swiftly and with unmatched coordination. His ability to turn a disadvantageous situation into an opportunity was one of his defining traits. Even after centuries have passed since his death, Subutai's influence still lingers in the broader narrative of the Mongol Empire. His role in shaping the military legacy of the Mongols, alongside Genghis Khan and other key figures, ensures that he remains central to the story of their rise to dominance. Though the empire may no longer exist, Subutai's contributions continue to be studied as part of the foundational aspects of military strategy and tactics. Ultimately, Subutai's life and legacy are emblematic of the broader Mongol approach to war, which valued intelligence, adaptability, and efficiency over brute force alone. His brilliance as a strategist, combined with his dedication to the Mongol cause, led to victories that not only expanded the empire, but also changed the world. In the centuries since, Subutai's name has been etched in the annals of history as a master of warfare, whose impact still resonates in the military world and beyond. His legacy is not merely the conquest of lands, but the enduring influence of a strategic mind, making him one of the most remarkable and respected military figures in human history. Military commanders to ever live, Even as time passed, Subutai's influence continued to resonate far beyond the Mongol Empire. His military philosophy shaped the way warfare was approached in different cultures. For example, in the centuries following his death, Subutai's tactics would be revisited by military thinkers during the Renaissance and in later centuries, particularly as Europe faced increasingly complex and dynamic battlefield scenarios. His ability to deploy small, mobile units that could cover vast distances was an early precursor to modern concepts of maneuver warfare, where speed, surprise, and adaptability are key to gaining the upper hand over a larger, more static force. One of the most remarkable aspects of Subutai's strategy was his use of combined arms tactics, blending various types of forces, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, archers, and siege units, to work together in a coordinated way that overwhelmed the enemy. His integration of intelligence gathering and the rapid communication of battlefield information allowed his forces to act with unprecedented speed. His extensive use of reconnaissance, including spies and scouts, helped him stay ahead of his enemies and anticipate their moves. This allowed Subutai to shape the battlefield and create situations in which his enemies were constantly forced to react, giving him the strategic initiative at all times. Subutai's campaigns also demonstrated a remarkable understanding of logistics. The Mongol army was infamous for its speed and ability to sustain long campaigns far from home. Subutai ensured that his forces had access to supply lines, food, and ammunition, even when operating hundreds or thousands of miles away from their base of operations. The ability to maintain the Mongol war machine's momentum was one of the factors that enabled the Mongols to conduct multi-front campaigns across continents, stretching their resources without breaking down. His focus on ensuring his troops could live off the land and employ unconventional supply strategies was ahead of its time. His ability to engage in long-distance campaigns also showcases visionary leadership and remarkable organizational skills. Unlike other military commanders, Subutai would often execute campaigns that spanned vast distances, with several stages involving multiple targets. For example, during the invasion of Europe, Subutai conducted simultaneous operations in the Kievan Rus, Poland, Hungary, and other territories. This required precise coordination of troops across many regions, a logistical feat few could match. Subutai's role in Mongol diplomacy also played a vital part in his military achievements. His strategic foresight extended beyond the battlefield. He often negotiated with local rulers or forces to ensure that there was minimal resistance when Mongol forces arrived, sometimes manipulating political situations to his advantage. He understood that diplomacy, like military action, was part of the Mongol art of war. This gave him the freedom to focus on the more immediate goals of military engagement, while making sure the political landscape remained favorable to Mongol expansion. In addition to his military prowess, Subutai was a symbol of the Mongol ideal of meritocracy. Unlike other empires where aristocratic birth determined one's position, the Mongols valued talent above all. Subutai, having come from modest origins, was able to rise to the highest echelons of the military through his own ability and skill. This underlined the Mongol philosophy that success was a result of personal merit, not lineage, a concept that contributed to the Mongol Empire's ability to attract some of the finest soldiers, commanders, and thinkers from across its vast territories. Throughout his lifetime, Subutai maintained a sense of humility, preferring to allow his actions on the battlefield to speak for him rather than indulging in self-promotion. His reputation as a quiet yet brilliant leader earned him the respect of both his peers and his enemies. He was never one to boast about his achievements, yet his reputation spread far and wide, even reaching the court of Europe. By the time of his death in 1248, Subutai had cemented himself as a key figure in the Mongol military machine, one whose strategies and successes will be admired for generations. Subutai's name is still remembered today as one of the greatest generals in history. His ability to think several steps ahead, his innovative tactics, and his unyielding dedication to his army and his cause have made him an iconic figure in military history. His legacy is not just about the conquests he led, but the enduring impact of his military strategies on the world's approach to warfare. To this day, Subutai is regarded as a paragon of military leadership and strategic innovation, a figure whose example continues to be studied by those seeking to understand the art of war. His contributions to the Mongol Empire helped shape the course of history, and remain an indelible part of the legacy of one of the most remarkable empires the world has ever known. Subutai's legacy has also found a place in popular culture and modern military thought, where his strategies are often referenced as examples of excellence in warfare. His tactical ingenuity, coupled with his unparalleled understanding of the psychology of warfare, set a standard that has influenced generations of military leaders. His ability to predict the movements and decisions of his enemies, and his swift exploitation of their vulnerabilities, continues to be studied in modern military academies around the world. It is not just his battlefield victories that remain relevant today, but the depth of his strategic understanding, his management of resources, and his role in the integration of diverse armies across cultures and geographies. In the modern world, Subutai's tactics have influenced not just military strategists, but also those in fields like business and leadership, where his ability to anticipate market trends, manage complex operations, and adapt to changing conditions is often seen as exemplary. In business strategy, for example, Subutai's ability to outmaneuver opponents and quickly exploit new opportunities has been compared to the agility needed in the fast-paced, ever-changing landscape of modern industries. His leadership style, focused on precision and adaptability, remains a model for those in command positions in any domain. While Subutai's direct influence may have been most pronounced during the time of the Mongol Empire, his historical significance stretches far beyond that period. As an individual, Subutai's life encapsulates the Mongol ideal of endurance, discipline, and tactical brilliance. Even as the Mongol Empire itself eventually fragmented and declined, his strategies were applied in subsequent centuries, inspiring not just Mongol successors, but also European and Asian leaders alike. Subutai's story has also become a symbol of the power of perseverance and the transformative nature of military genius. His rise from humble beginnings to one of the greatest military leaders in history exemplifies the potential for individuals to shape the course of history through their talents, even against significant odds. He is remembered not only as a military commander, but also as a symbol of the Mongol spirit, the unyielding determination and adaptability that allowed a small group of nomadic horse riders to conquer one of the largest empires the world has ever seen.